High School, where she led her team to the state championship in 2005. Notre Dame spotted her talent and awarded her a full ride to Notre Dame. At Notre Dame, she was a two-time academic All-American, so she's smart and talented, and played in 2 national championship games. Upon graduation, she was a first-round draft pick by the Los Angeles Soul and has played professional soccer for the past 6 years. As a professional soccer player, she has moved to 7 different cities. She's young, look at her. Okay. She currently plays for the Houston Dash in the National Women's Soccer League. Brittany began her career in 2010, and like everything else she does, she did it big. 14 shows in 5 weeks. Rookie Club Designer in her first year. She has won more awards than you can even name, but one of her proudest accomplishments is that she has sponsored at least 1 new jeweler in all 7 cities that she's lived in. She is extremely passionate, and sometimes she was on those cities for a short period of time. She's extremely passionate about her professional soccer career and her Premier Designs family, and loves to be able to motivate and inspire people of all ages. Being a part of Premier has really helped her to get out of her comfort zone and become more confident and bold. She loves to use this platform to enrich lives and hopes to continue to build this company as a strong, godly leader. Give her a warm welcome.
Close your eyes and keep them closed until I tell you to open them. What are you passionate about? What do you think about, dream about? What just gives you the chills when you talk about it to others? What lights you up, motivates you, excites you, inspires you to get out of bed? Can you see it? Open your eyes. For me, starting when I was 5, it was soccer. I had this burning desire to be the best soccer player in the world. When I was about 14 years old, I went to this soccer camp that had some classroom sessions. And the coach told us about this guy who wanted to run a mile in 4 minutes or less. He wrote down his goal, 3:57, and he put it above his bed. Every night, it was the last thing he saw. Every morning, the first thing on his mind when he woke up. I left that camp and I knew what I was going to do. I got this poster of the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team wearing their gold medals. It's a little old. And I also got a cardboard box, and I ripped it off, and I wrote, "National Team, just do it." I even had the glow-in-the-dark stars outlined around it so I could see it when the lights went out. I dreamed about it, and I woke up, and I looked at it. But that was just the beginning. I went out and worked. I worked hard. I did extra training when no one else told me. I went to bed early before games instead of going out with my friends so that I could get a good sleep before games. I missed social time and dances, and in high school, that's pretty hard. No one told me to. I did it because I wanted to. Not only did I have to give up a lot of things that I enjoyed, but I had to do things that made me uncomfortable. I had setbacks. I cried. I was frustrated. I watched other girls around the country get called into that team. I kept working and sacrificing and overcoming. Then one day, when I was 15, I got the call. I made my first youth national team. I started traveling all over the country and all over the world. I continued to put in the work, day by day, month by month, year by year. I missed more events with my friends and even my family. I missed 7 Thanksgivings in a row. I had struggles along the way, but I kept pressing on, made camp after camp. I have gone to a Youth World Cup in Russia, played in 15 different countries, and have had several call-ups with the national team. I got a full ride to the University of Notre Dame, and I am starting up this year my 7th year in professional soccer. I've worked extremely hard and poured my life and my soul into this, but there's a price to pay. And since playing professional soccer, I've had 9 surgeries, concussions, several broken ribs, and just this past year with my first team with the Houston Dash, in the first minute of the first game, I tore my ACL. A day after my birthday. Every time I was just there on the national team, I was beaten down, literally. I was tired. Through all of this, I lost. I failed. I was disappointed. At one point, I was an alternate for the 2012 Olympics, but injuries got the best of me. I didn't reach my goal. But let me tell you, I'm not done yet. It's funny how God winks at us. It's when I had double foot surgery in January of 2012 that I started up with Premier. I was not your typical jewelry lady. I wasn't even passionate about the jewelry, but it worked with my soccer schedule, so I did it. I got off to a great start. 14 shows in 5 weeks. A little competitive, I guess. But when it comes with pro sports, it's a business. And after 5 weeks, I was off to another city. To keep it short, every 6 months, I had to move because of leagues folding, or teams folding. LA, DC, Atlanta, Rochester, Denver, Sweden, New Jersey, Norway, Chicago, and now Houston. Have you ever had to restart your premier business? Well, that was me every 6 months. I didn't reach the goals that I had set out to all the time because of the circumstances. I was frustrated and disappointed, but I didn't let that defeat me. I was determined. And with the right attitude, failure will turn into success if you have the right attitude. I have sponsored a new jeweler in every city that I have lived. See, I'm in this for life, and this company is more than the money. And even if I fail to reach my goals, doesn't mean I give up. I get knocked down 7 times, I get up 8. I had to get out of my comfort zone a lot, do the things I didn't want to do, make the phone calls, go to Panera, talk to random people because I didn't know anyone else. But through this, I've grown. I've learned from my mistakes, and getting outside of my comfort zone, it has helped me to become a better jeweler, but more importantly, a better person. Having a dream, setting a goal, working hard to reach that goal, accepting the sacrifices, and overcoming the obstacles, I know that. I've lived it on the soccer field. But that same vision and sacrifice and overcoming your obstacles, that relates to everything in life. So let's focus on our lives right now in 2015. It's about having direction. We're given one life, and we need to make the most of it. Look inside. Be the very best you that you can be. So how do we do that? We set goals. Why? Forbes had this article. A study was conducted at Harvard where students were asked, have you set clear written goals and made plans to accomplish them? The result? Only 3% had written down their goals and plans. 13% had goals but didn't write them down, and 84% had no goals at all. Then 10 years later, they brought back that same group of students. The students who had goals were earning twice as much as those who had no goals at all. And the 3% who actually wrote them down were earning, on average, 10 times as much as everybody else. It starts with vision, knowing where we want to go in life, what we want to achieve, and why we want to achieve it so bad. Goals keep us accountable. Vision keeps us motivated. We can't sell ourselves short. We need to dream big, and God has amazing plans, just like it says in Jeremiah 29:11. So what's your why? If it's not something we really want, we're not going to work for it. Our why drives the goals we set, and it pushes us when times get tough. So number 1, write this down. Define your goals. If you struggle to work with this, ask God to reveal it to you. In Scripture, Matthew 7:7, it says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the doors will be open to you. Next, we need to break it down into short and long-term goals for every area of your life, faith, family, career. For your short term, create weekly, monthly goals, and then break it down. Be realistic. Working with your schedule, not anyone else's schedule, but also challenging yourself because you don't want to sell yourself short. We need to have specific goals, the number of jewelry shows we want, a dollar amount we want to reach, and measurable goals. Do you want to be a builder, a designer? Do you want to be an executive director one day? For long term, this is going to be a little bit more difficult. Grab a pen and paper and just start writing, like in a newspaper. Date it January 10th, 2020, and tell me, where are you at? What are you doing? What does your life look like? It'll be hard, but it'll challenge you to really have that vision and go for what you really want in life. Number 2, how do we reach those goals? We need to create an action plan. Ask your upline to help you with this, to break it down, and grab a partner. Accountability works wonders. For example, my soccer coach keeps my team accountable. At the beginning of the season, before we step foot on the field, we put together team and individual goals. If we want to make the playoffs, well, that's how we're going to get the championship. But we need to look back, and statistically, the last year you need to win a certain amount of games and score a certain amount of goals. So we look at that, and then we create a plan. And then every single day at practice, we have a plan of what we're going to do that day to accomplish our goals. If we went blindly to a season setting no goals, do you think we'd be holding the championship trophy at the end? Will we always hit our goals? No. Do we give up? Absolutely not. All we can do is go out, work hard, do our best, and if we don't reach that goal, we reevaluate, set a new goal, and we get going again. So in jewelry terms, goal to be a designer, you need at least 36 home jewelry shows and 7 first-level jewelers. Okay, so to get those shows, you need to book X amount of shows to get those. Well, then you need to talk to this many people. You need to break it down, make this many phone calls. And for sponsoring, if you need 7 jewelers, you need to talk to this amount of people. You need to share the marketing plan with this amount of people. Did you guys hear that? You have to share the marketing plan if you want to sponsor. Just saying. Set goals. Create an action plan, yes. But we need to write them down and look at them. And then we need to work. Having goals and a plan is a great start, but if we don't work, these goals mean nothing. Make the calls, serve others, participate in book-a-thons with a positive attitude. Attend training, share the hostess and marketing plan, wear the jewelry, tell your friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we can't expect it to happen without any effort. We need to give God something to bless. I know life isn't easy, and everyone is going through their own struggles. Coming back from my ACL surgery this year has been one of the hardest things I've had to do. It was overwhelming the first minute. Another surgery. I didn't know how I was going to do it. So I started small. I set little goals and I worked with my trainers to create a plan to work for it. And then I went to work. I put my heart and soul into this, and I have the sweat to prove it. But guess what? I'm no longer on that timeline I thought I should be. I've put too much work, gone through too much pain to not be where I'm supposed to be at this point. So now what? Do I just give up? Throw all that hard work away? I did everything I was told to. I did everything I was supposed to, but my knee just isn't ready because that was my timeline, not God's. It's been a journey, and I find the more I put my trust in the Lord, in His Word, that is where I find my hope and strength. His plan is perfect, and sometimes He'll make us wait. But in that trial period, that is where He prepares us. Down in that valley, that's where He slows us down, and He whispers to us so that we have that strength to take that next step up that mountain. So tell me, do you trust in God? Do you? But do you worry? When times get tough, we can stress and worry, throw in the towel, move on to something else, something new, something easier. Or we can trust. Scripture tells us in Matthew 6, do not worry about your life. Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to his life? The more we let go and let God, the more peace we will have when times get tough, because they will get tough. It's when we fail or make mistakes that we learn the most about ourselves, and that builds our character. We don't have to be perfect. We're already perfect in His eyes. Just don't ever give up. Have faith and believe that you can do it. I am bigger than my fear. You say that with me? I am bigger than my fear. If we don't reach that goal in the time we wanted, yes, be disappointed, but don't get discouraged. Bruce Lee once said, do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. And number 3, lastly, let's celebrate our success. I mean that. In soccer, when we win the game, we celebrate. Not just the championship, but everything along the way. When you also make sure you track your success. Check off when you've booked a show, had a great jewelry show, reached the small goals. Premier provides this amazing track to success. Do you guys use that? Picture this. When you run a race, however long, there's checkpoints along the way, mile markers, times that you pass. There's a finish line. You know, there's that time you're going to stop at, or there's a goal at the end. Now imagine running that race, never knowing where the finish line was. Tell me, how long would you keep running until you quit? It's the checkpoints, that time ticking down on that interval. 3, 2, 1. That's what keeps us going. That's what drives us to the finish line when everything else is crying for us to stop. But we make it, and then we celebrate with a Portillo's cake shake. Goals are important. They motivate us to accomplish something, give us focus and meaning, keep us accountable and on track. Goals propel us to have a purposeful and meaningful life. Not only do we feel good about what we accomplish, but we impact the lives of others. Do you realize this? He has a plan for us and wants to use us in amazing ways. Don't be afraid. He's with you always. We have a purpose. Each of us is a part of God's masterpiece in His image with our own talents and our own gifts. We cannot compare ourselves to anyone but ourselves. We set our goals and compete only with the one looking back at us in the mirror. We work each day to honor God in our actions and pray for Him to guide and bless us. If we do this with a positive attitude and count it all joy, we will have a successful business and a successful life. So will you attack your fears with me head on this year?
Yes.
Let's dream big, set goals, and be brave in 2015. We were meant to be courageous.